There's a moment that shows up again and again in Eastern Front diaries, something you don't catch in the popular histories. It wasn't just the cold, or the dark, or the lack of food. It was the instant when every tool they relied on, every compass, every lantern, every form of navigation, simply stopped being usable. Batteries froze solid. Oil lamps risked giving away a position to anyone watching. And when the wind picked up, even the stars vanished behind a sheet of moving ice crystals. Yet soldiers still had to keep moving, keep orienting, keep surviving. And inside that pressure cooker of desperation, they created a field-expedient method for reading maps in complete darkness without light, heat, or equipment. It's a method so simple and so effective that modern preppers who try it are stunned at how well it works. What's wild is how rarely it gets talked about, even among historians of material culture. But it exists in field reports, in veteran memoirs, and in the notebooks of unit cartographers who understood that if your men can't read a map, the map might as well not exist. Today you'll learn exactly how it worked, why it was effective, and how you can reproduce it with materials that cost less than a cup of coffee. Now let's step directly into the practical side so you can evaluate this technique as both a historian and a survivalist. How soldiers discovered that boots could become reliable Arctic insulation long before modern synthetics. Before we get to the glow map hack, we need to acknowledge why the boot trick mattered. The trick emerged on the Eastern Front and in the Arctic campaigns, where temperatures routinely made issued footwear useless. Soldiers inserted a layer of crushed plant fibre, typically dried straw, sedge-grass or reed scrapings, between two layers of cloth inside the boots. This wasn't random filler. The structure of the fibres trapped dry air and created a thermal barrier far more effective than wool alone. The reason this matters is simple. The same thinking, using organic material to trap and reflect ambient light, led to the navigation method you're about to learn. If you understand the mindset behind one hack, the other becomes even more logical. In practical terms today, anyone spending time in winter conditions can replicate the boot method with dried cattail fluff packed inside a thin pair of socks and layered under normal winter socks. It keeps your feet drier, warmer, and far less prone to conductive heat loss inside rubber or leather boots. How WWII soldiers created glow-capable maps without artificial light? The true lost survival secret here wasn't the boots, it was the no-light map. When conventional illumination risked exposing a patrol, mapmakers adopted a technique borrowed from pre-war geology field kits, embedding phosphorescent powder into the ink lines of the essential route features. The powders they used weren't radioactive, they were made from zinc sulfide, which had long been used in watch dials. Cartographers added it selectively, never to the whole map. Only the primary route, contour indicators, and key turns received the treatment. At night, soldiers activated the map with nothing more than body heat and friction. They kept the folded sheet tucked against the chest or under an arm for several minutes. The stored warmth charged the phosphorescent grains enough to create a faint private glow. Dim enough that it couldn't be seen more than a foot or two away, but clear enough to read the essential path. The brilliance of the technique was that it required no lamp, no match, no electric source, and it preserved night adaptation of the eyes. Today, you can reproduce this process using modern non-toxic phosphor powder mixed lightly into the ink of a gel pen. Draw your key route lines over a printed map. Let the ink cure for 24 hours. Then store the map inside your coat when moving after dusk. The glow will never be bright, but it will be readable in total darkness. How soldiers used improvised stencils to prevent the map from giving away their position. There was a second step, essential and rarely mentioned. Phosphorescent coating can reflect even tiny ambient light, and no one wanted a shimmering square of paper announcing their location. So soldiers created basic blackout stencils. They cut a cover sheet out of thick cloth or leather with a rectangular slit about 3 inches wide. Only that window aligned with the essential map segment. The rest of the sheet blocked all glow from escaping into open air. So you can actually apply this today by, well, taking a piece of heavy canvas, folding it in half, and then cutting a clean viewing slot through the top layer. After that, just stitch the edges so the map can slide inside like a sleeve. This method really eliminates accidental light leakage, and, importantly, it forces you to focus on one navigational segment at a time. So, here's how patrol leaders actually put the map hack into practice, step by step. Out in the field, the process, well, it unfolded in a strict rhythm. A scout would carefully retrieve the map, tuck it inside their clothing for a few minutes to warm the phosphor, then slide it into the blackout sleeve. Under the cover of their own body, they'd check the next movement point. The map was always put away straight away, never held out, never left exposed, not even for a moment. Now, if you happen to be a modern trekker, or maybe a cold-weather prepper, you can actually test this out in a safe environment. Just mark a short trail in advance, give yourself only the modified map, and try navigating without a flashlight. You'll see right away why soldiers really valued this technique. It keeps your hands free, preserves your night vision, and most importantly, maintains your security. Why does this forgotten little trick still matter to modern historians and survivalists? Well, this isn't just nostalgia. It's a reminder, really, that high-tech gear simply doesn't replace good fieldcraft. Soldiers under extreme stress solve problems using chemistry, geography, and, careful discipline. Their solutions weren't just theoretical, they were tested under the harshest conditions humans have ever fought in. And they still set a standard for reliability. If it works without power, without batteries, and without visibility, it will always have value. If you found this breakdown useful, do make sure you share this video with fellow history enthusiasts, and help keep the channel growing. There are more forgotten wartime fieldcraft and material culture secrets coming your way very soon.